What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode 22 of the Project Ascension server. I'm Elude Stalwart, and I'm going to be playing Elude. He is my heavy armor stacking tank. He's a level 41 hero on the Andorhal PvP server. That's a 1x EXP game server. And I figured today I would walk you through my build and update you on what I've been doing this past weekend. It's a lot of AoE grinding. I think last you heard there was a free talent reset, so I was trying different things out. And I went really heavy into picking up a bunch of buffs and stuff. I don't even know where I am. I think I'm in Tanaris? No. Okay, I'm parked outside of where my grind spot is. Alright, I'm gonna shadow mill, and then I'm gonna walk y'all through what I did. I put something here on the side. I figured I could share it with y'all. Alright, this is the Project Ascension calculator, or Ascension Calculator 2.3, and I think I have a link in the description to a Google Drive thing folder where you can download it, but just to give you an idea of what I'm going to be doing here, I picked up Armor to the Teeth as my first talent, and you can see that that'll increase your attack power by 1 for every 108 armor value you have. I think that's actually 3 because I put 3 points into it. The calculator here doesn't actually reflect the 3 to 5 rank point expenditure. Like, the tooltip doesn't update. The more points you put into it, it'll just show the first rank. So the first rank of Armor to the Teeth is attack power by 1 for every 108, but whenever I put 3 points into it, it becomes 3 attack power for every 108 armor. So that's my first talent that I put in. Then I went into Insight. That's from the warrior tree. Armor to the Teeth was Fury, and Insight is the protection tree. Insight increases the crit strike chance of my heroic strike, thunderclap, and cleave by up to 15% with 3 points. Then I went into Nether protection from, I think it's the Destruction Warlock. Yeah, it says right here, Destruction Warlock, and it's a level 35 ability. After being hit with the spell, you have up to a 30% chance with 3 points to gain Nether protection, reducing all damage by spell schools by 30% for 8 seconds. This is really cool because before, whenever I went super tanky, I had a lot of armor and physical damage was reduced, but spell damage still hit me really hard. And what's cool about Nether protection is, depending on what spell I get hit with, I gain resistance to that class or that school of magic. So that's really awesome for tanking kind of like caster types. You still want to nuke them down pretty quickly because spells hit hard. But then you go into protection, and then I picked up Shield Mastery. Increases your block value by 30% when you put 2 points into it, and then it reduces the cooldown of your shield block ability. I think it's by 30 seconds, but I'm not sure. Then I went into Shield Specialization. I only put 3 points into that because if you put more than that, in my experience, if you're AoE tanking, at least with my guy, I tend to generate more rage than I can spend. So just 3 points, it feels just right for me in Shield Specialization. Then I went into Thick Hide. Now, it says I only put 2 in because I made this build whenever I was level 39, but since then I've made up to level 41. So I was able to actually put more points into this. And this also brings up a good point, because if you have a tank and you want to increase armor contribution from items, it's best to pick up the Feral Druids, and you can see the Beast Mastery Hunters version first, because those are only 3 points to get 10% armor contribution from items. Now I thought that would actually scale, because when you put a point into it, it says that you get it looked like with the first rank that you would get 4%, and then I thought if you put a second one you would get 8%, and then a third one you would get 12%. I thought you would actually get 12% armor contribution, but that wasn't the case. It was only a maximum of 10%. I don't know if that was tweaked or if that was intended, but that's how it works. And it's still the cheapest way to get the most out of each talent you put, if you just only want to pick up one version of these. But what I did was I picked up all the versions. So I picked up the Druid's version, which is 3 points, the Hunter's version, which is 3 points. So now that's 10% plus 10%, that's 20% more armor from my items. And then I went into Paladins and put 5 points into that, mainly for the threat generated as well. But I got another 5 points put into that. That brings it up to 30% armor contribution from items. And then in the Warriors version, I put it in and got up to 40% armor contribution from items, including the Warriors. And it also is a kicker bonus to the side, reduces duration of movement and pairing effects. So that's pretty cool. So between those 4 trees, I'm getting 40% more armor from the items I'm wearing. And since I hit level 40, I've been able to start putting on plate, and I'm starting to see that pay off really well. Sanctified Retribution, I went into that with the Paladin as opposed to Devotion Aura, because I found before, whenever I was going into Devotion Aura, I did get a lot of armor, but there were times when I would just be healing and throwing down Consecration and Magma Totem before, whenever I was grinding in Stranglethorn Vale, and that whole time I was self-healing, I wasn't putting any damage out at all. So Retribution Aura was a really good idea for just still being able to put out damage even whenever I get stuck in situations where I just have to heal through the fight. And an added bonus is that friendly targets, including myself, get damage increased by 3%. So that was a really good pick, having Retribution Aura and having it hit harder, 50% harder, and then dealing damage even whenever I'm stuck healing. I opted for Blessing of Kings instead of Blessing of Sanctuary, because Blessing of Kings gives me 10% more of all my attributes, not just strength and stamina like Blessing of Kings. And also I found that with Water Shield, which you'll see I picked up later, I get more mana return. You can hear my power auras going off. I get more mana return from Water Shield than I did with Blessing of Sanctuary anyways. So after I picked that up, I went into Cleave, and Cleave is a good threat dump. So in those situations where even the 3 shield specialization that I picked up over here gives me more rage than I can use or handle, I can cleave away most of that rage to keep myself from capping. And I find a lot of the times I just get in a situation where I'm just thunderclapping and cleaving back to back, and Cleave is really legit for that. Then I move on to Defensive Stance, and Defensive Stance makes it to where I have less damage taken, and oh, okay, so at this point I went into picking up abilities. So Blessing of Kings, Cleave, Defensive Stance so I could use shield block and stuff. I picked up all the armors, as many as I could find, which included Demon Skin. You can see later Frost Armor, Mark of the Wild has an armor increase, and I think I picked up a couple others. Demoralizing Shout, super useful for further reducing the damage that I'm taking whenever I'm AoE tanking. And this is cool because it reduces the attack power of everybody, like everybody in range, as long as they don't resist it. So Demoralizing Shout further reduces the damage that I take, even on top of all the armor that I have. And that with Frost Armor and Thunderclap, it really kind of nullifies the damage that most physical damage dealers can do to me. Flash Heal is a good self-heal. It's I think it was Mikhail Berkelstein or something like that. He was a developer that was working on the game like 4 months ago or something. He said that this is the most cost-efficient, biggest heal. So I tend to listen to people who know a lot about the game, especially if they helped develop it. So I switched to Flash Heal instead of Flash of Light like I used to use, and Lesser Healing Wave. Flash Heal is a good pick. Frost Armor, that converts to Ice Armor later, and I think I actually didn't talent it, but I thought to myself I might talent this later on and increase the amount of armor return from it. But for now, I didn't have enough points So I just picked up the armor itself, and I've been training each rank as it gets higher. Inner Fire is a priest armor increaser. It's from the discipline tree. You can get it at level 12, and that's just another added armor buff. I have to rebuff that often whenever I'm AoE tanking, but it's pretty legit. I want to put points into that so I can get more stacks than the 20 charges, but I usually keep this up just like I would keep Water Shield up while I'm tanking, and you'll see that in action in a little bit. Judgment of Light, 2% of the health that's healed. The more I stack stamina, and that's kind of what I've been focused on as far as attributes are concerned, stamina stacking, and then also most plate gear or mail gear comes with stamina as well. Judgment of Light's just more effective the more health I have, and I pair that really well with Seal of Light. Magma Totem is like one of the strongest AoEs that I've found that I can just set and forget. It'll stay at my feet for about 20, yeah, it says 20 seconds. So that's 20 seconds, which is a few rotations of other things that I can do in that time. That's consistent damage that's constantly being put out, just like my Retribution Aura. Mark of the Wild was really good. I picked that up for the armor and the attribute increase. That pairs really well with Blessing of Kings. So it's like you get that 10% from Blessing of Kings, but then with Mark of the Wild you also get a percentage of stat increased with that one as well. Revenge I don't find myself using too often, but whenever I do, it's a really good single target damaging ability. It's really hard hitting. I got Rock Biter to further increase my attack power for Thunderclap. Seal of Light for my self heals. Shield Block for on-demand defense, which like helps save me a lot whenever I got a lot of mobs on me. I can pop Shield Block and just everything starts being blocked, and I get a ton of rage from that. Stone Skin Totem. I used to think Stone Skin Totem was only damage reduction, like physical damage reduction, but in Wrath of the Lich King client it actually has armor. So I cast that at the beginning of every pull and increase my armor by X amount. You'll see that later. Which then in turn with Armor to the Teeth is converted into attack power. So you can see how armor stacking is beneficial. Thunderclap, this uses damage is increased by attack power. So all that attack power that I'm stacking is then in turn used by Thunderclap, which I have spec'd into 15% more chance to crit. And I think I even got a random enchant on my item that's buffing that even further. So that's my #1 top damaging ability. I prioritize my Thunderclap cooldown above all things. So every 6 seconds I am clapping as much as I can. Travel Form, because it's instant cast, used to be 30%, or I thought it was 30% before, but I read it whenever I was respeccing this time, and it's either increased or always has been 40%, and that's just more useful than having to cast Ghost Wolf, so I opted for Travel Form. Water Shield, that's how we keep our mana up so we can keep judging and buffing and laying our Magma Totem. Like Water Shield's mainly for Magma Totem, that's the whole reason why we have that, and our self heals. So water Shield, you can't beat how much mana you get back from Water Shield. And we're tanky enough to where we can keep getting hit and getting those charges of globes expended to keep our mana up. So yeah, that's the build. It's centric around stacking armor, converting that to attack power, reducing the damage we take, and thunderclapping as much as possible with our Magma Totem out and Retribution Aura on. So now that I've walked you through that, I'll actually show you the build in action in the game. We're sitting here AFK. I got Power Aura set up here, so it'll notify me when one of my buffs are falling off, and it's so many buffs that I really need to, I had to find out a way to track them all. Alright, so this glowing cross symbol, that's our inner fire. We're going to put that on. That's our Stone Skin's totem. But whenever we're in combat, we'll get a little shield icon that lets us know whether or not Stone Skin Totem is down. Here's Inner Fire. And I'll let you see actually my armor, what it does while we're doing this. Right now I got, with no buffs or anything whatsoever, I got 4158 armor. That's just from gear. And I began putting on plate, which has been dropping often now that I'm above 40 and I'm grinding mobs, but you can still see I got a bunch of mail on in certain areas. I got lucky with Ice Mail Jerkin that dropped because it ended up getting that 5% more Heroic Strike, Thunderclap, and Cleave random enchant, which is also a talent I talented. So I'm actually getting 20% altogether with that. Mail, I still have that same axe, I still got that same shield. I grabbed a bow, and then I got the level 40 ammo. Strength and stamina, strength and agility ring. My gear is still focused on strength and armor, but I'm not as scared to pick up stamina and armor now because of the damage reduction and stuff. But yeah, I still favor strength, stamina, and armor mainly. So that's the gear. We're at a 51.7% damage reduction with just that armor. Now we're gonna go to defensive stance. We're gonna drop our stone skin totem. That goes up to 45.78. We're at 54% damage reduction. Inner fire, 58.7% damage reduction. Blessing of Kings, 58.74. Mark of the Wild, 59.6% damage reduction. Ice Armor, 61.18% damage reduction. Demon Armor, 62.78 damage reduction. I think that's as high as we're going to get it right there. But we still have our Seal of Light and our Rockbiter weapon that we need to buff. Seal of Light's our heal, and Rockbiter's really good because it works well with Thunderclap. So altogether, when it's all said and done, we're at 62.7% damage reduction, and that's physical damage specifically. Our defenses, just right off rip, the way it is right now, is about 10% dodge, 4.3 parry, and block stops 108% or 108 damage at 4%. We're gonna run out and see what we can get into. Oh, let us not forget the water shield. And I got power aura set up for all those things. I got a macro that makes it to where when I judge, I switch to defensive stance, so I don't have to worry about that. Also, quick shot whenever I pull switches me into defensive stance as well. I've been grinding out in Tanaris. I have seen some horde, but they haven't really been too much of an issue. They haven't messed with me too badly. But I mainly hit like these 4 little camps of Alliance. Well, I guess they're not Alliance, but humans. These 4 little human camps have been how I've grinded up to 41 so far. Come to me, buddy. Alright. First thing we're going to do is drop Stone Skin, keep Water Shield up. We're going to block Thunderclap. Our priority is Thunderclap. And then we're going to judge things with melee to keep threat. We want to cleave to keep our rage. We've got to refresh Inner Fire because it went down. And refreshing Inner Fire is important because that boosts Thunderclap. And you can see, like, I haven't went below 90% health. I'm just barely starting. And you can see how often Inner Fire drops, but it's not a problem to refresh it. Like, it has not been an issue at all. It doesn't hurt our mana or anything like that. It's just something else to do as filler during our rotation. And there's the first camp. That hasn't been the biggest pull, but I can get pretty big pulls over here. I think the middle tower pull is the biggest one because I grabbed these 3 here. And you can see how low our health gets with this one. But it's still not bad. It's still really manageable. If I can, I try to get the ones that pad outside here too. See, I got that. Oh, I missed him. Wasn't able to get that guy. I keep missing that one too. But that's okay. We'll get those in the next pull. Alright, keep the water shield up. We're blocking through so we don't tap. Drop that magma totem. continue, and thunderclap is our rage. We want to refresh inner fire before we do our next attack. Inner fire increases our attack power through armor. Yeah, thunderclap is priority is keeping up magma totem. They disarm me a lot, so I can't always clean. That's all good. And there you go, that's pretty much it. Oh, we got an Andorhal band. Court Malone says, game audio is a little too loud and your voice is a little too low. Can't hear really well while thunderclap. My bad. I actually turned the game volume up. There we go. How's that? That should be much better. I thought it was a little loud too. I turned my headphones down. I normally have that set up already like that, but I was playing yesterday and I wanted to hear the game a little better. That thunderclap OP. Alright. See how many we can get. We should be able to pull all these. Let's get this guy out here. Come to me. Alright. Drop the stone skin. Refresh inner fire. Block, cleave, and stomp all at once. Cleave's really cool too because it doesn't share the global cooldown. So you can cleave while you're casting other things like water shield and magma totem. I'm letting my rage cap, which is bad. Usually want to avoid that. And then I also missed an inner fire just now. I want to inner fire before I thunderclap. Another thing I've done since I've leveled, a few points that I haven't showed you that I've spent, is into enrage. I think that's shield mastery. Oh, right. We need rage. Let me show you. So I went down here to improve defensive stance. While in defensive stance, all spell damage is reduced by 3. So that stacks with nether protection, the one that we got in the destruction tree here. So after being hit with the spell, you have a 30% chance to gain nether protection, reducing all damage by that spell by 30%. And then you could add another 3% on top of that. So that's 33% spell damage reduction. And then when we dodge, block, or parry, we have 50% chance, which is almost guaranteed in a big pull, to become enraged, increasing physical damage caused by 5%. I think when I put another point into this, that damage will increase to 10%, which will make it to where the damage reduction penalty by defensive stance is then nullified. Because while in defensive stance, your damage is reduced by 10%. So improved defensive stance makes it to where your damage is normal. So we don't take that damage reduction penalty. I think in the next couple pulls we'll ding too. We got some obsidian greaves. Oh, poisons random enchant. But they're still stat-wise better than the boots we have on. We get the extra agility and armor, so we'll put that on. So now our damage reduction is, with all buffs, 62.9%. Court Malone says, I'm sure that will be better, just super loud during AoE. Thanks, man. I appreciate you point that out, because I would have just played all day with it way too loud if you wouldn't have said anything. Alright, and then also as a side note, we're stamina stacking with our stats. No real reason, like I guess we could go strength and see how that works. But I've enjoyed being very tanky with all the 3,400 stamina or health. Alright, water shield, totem, block, stomp, roar, magma. And rage almost always stays up as long as we got mobs beating on us. Gotta refresh that inner fire. When you get really good at the rotation, you can get into judging two things at once. Your judgment doesn't last very long, but there for like an instant you can have your Judgment of Light on 2 characters before the buff falls off the first one. And when that happens, you can see Judgment of Light heals you for 2% of your maximum health whenever you attack the target. If you have that on 2 targets, that's like 4% of your maximum health for just like a few seconds. So it could be useful when you manage your rotation well enough to judge 2 people at once. We got the Underworld bands. 10 stamina, 6 spirit, increases tamed pet stuff, and increases spell power. We'll probably get rid of that. Sell it on the auction house for about 10 gold, it says. And just by the time we get to this camp here, you can see stuff's respawned. So works out nicely. I don't know if these are all the mobs. It looks like they are. Alright. Let's get dirty. Don't forget to take water shield. Keep that up. Cleave and judge. Usually also you want to judge something that's going to be alive for a little while. And you can hear like I got some audio notifications with power auras. So in the background you can hear the guy going dee dee. And then just now you heard the thing go la la la. That's my Blessing of Kings buff. Inner Fire is the dee dee, and then Blessing of Kings is la da da. And we dinged. Grats, level 42, woot. Alright. Let's increase our improved defensive stance. We could do that one, or we could do a different one. I had an idea that I would do a different one. Oh, right. I wanted to get Holy Shield. That'll increase our damage, and we can actually have that every 8 seconds. I actually wanted to replace Revenge with that. But we can have both. I don't know where I would even put Holy Shield though. I don't have moves on my bar, or room on my bars. Every 8 seconds. Maybe we could tie that to Revenge though. No, we wouldn't want to put that with Revenge. This is a 40-second cooldown. I think just for the time being, we're gonna improve our defensive stance even further. Because I don't know yet where I would even put Holy Shield. I think I would refund Revenge and then get Holy Shield instead of that. Because Holy Shield can potentially hit multiple targets, which for an AoE build is kind of useful. Revenge can be spec'd to cleave, to where I can hit like even multiple targets with Revenge like cleave does. But those are also talents, so I don't know. I don't think we could have picked up Holy Shield anyways, actually, because we need 2 AE for that. Where's our totem? Oh, thought our totem was down. Messing the rotation up. And that's kind of what's cool too about this spec, is you can make mistakes. You're tanky enough to. The main reason why I have it to where I can hear the game volume so much too is so that I can actually hear my power auras telling me when my buffs fall off. Warbringer's Belt of Power. Okay, all set. I like to right click and desummon my totem, because if I don't, it'll leave totems everywhere if I just range it. A lot like the pets in Project Ascension. You see the pets being left everywhere in the world by their owners. Really? I'm right next to you. You can't see me? There you go. Why no Blessing of Sanctuary? Earlier, whenever I was explaining the build, I was saying that I opted to pick up Blessing of Kings instead of Blessing of Sanctuary, because Blessing of Kings will also increase my stamina by 10%. And I don't really have a problem with mana regen whenever I have Water Shield. So I don't need even Blessing of Sanctuary for mana regen. And I get 10% more strength and 10% more stamina from Blessing of Kings as well. So for the most part, that's why. I didn't see any other benefit of grabbing it. The only thing I need mana for is my self heals and my magma totem, which I forgot to drop, by the way. So I end up with plenty of mana just by refreshing Water Shield, that I don't even need Blessing of Sanctuary. I realized too that Blessing of Sanctuary gives you damage reduction, but I don't really need damage reduction as much whenever I have 62.4% damage reduction just from armor, and another 10% damage reduction with defensive stance. I got some Basilisk hype pants. Alright. And then I was pointing out earlier that with the Nether Protection, I get 30% damage reduction from spells, and then I have another 3%. Actually, I think that even increased whenever I put... Yeah, whenever I improved my defensive stance, I get another 6% spell damage reduction from that. So I end up with like a 46% damage reduction from spells with defensive stance, nether protection, and improved defensive stance. So yeah, I mean, damage reduction isn't an issue, but you are, I like where your head's at. You're on the right track with that that Blessing of Sanctuary. I also just think it's more useful to have 10% of every stat, because you get more intellect, which we don't really care about, but still, it's more intellect, and more agility, and stamina, and spirit. Like, you get all that, which is really useful whenever you use Mark of the Wild with that. So it's like we're getting 18% more of all of our attributes with Blessing of Kings and Mark of the Wild. Blessing of Sanctuary gives 10% strength and stamina too. Right, but we also get that from Blessing of Kings. And one blessing overwrites another blessing, so we can't have both of those. Unless it's cast on you by like another player. If another player gave me Blessing of Sanctuary, then that would stack with my Blessing of Kings, but I can't Blessing of Kings and Blessing of Sanctuary myself. Getting some greens here. Plate attack power. Plate strength 127 though. We don't really care about that one because we have more armor on the ones we're wearing. And here are those basilisk hide pants we got earlier. 21 agility, damn. Increases your chance to dodge and your pet's chance to dodge, and reduces the cooldown of your kill command, and it gives hit rating. Those are really good bear tank pants, I bet. We had some blues left over from yesterday. Witch Fury, Hellslayer's Battle Axe, Gazlo's Charm. Underlord band, or Underworld band, is going to be something we want to sell. Alright, we got everybody. Now I'm going to show you what a healing rotation looks like. Water Shield. We'll Thunderclap. We'll reduce their attack power with a shout, and then we'll self-heal and refresh Water Shield as we do that. And we don't mind too much having to do this because we got Retribution Aura on, which is doing holy damage to them while they attack me. And my damage reduction is so good that I could sit there and legitimately heal and see progress in my health going up. We'll re-roar. The Demoralizing Shout went down for a second. We gotta refresh our inner fire. There we go. That's pretty much what this rotation looks like and how this build works. All these buffs and stuff. All of the buffs. Let's try to get another big pull here. I don't know if that one that we grabbed, there's usually 3 at that camp. It showed 4 because one of them was Patton. I don't know if he'll reset. No, he stuck around. Cool. Alright. Let's try to judge multiple targets. And remember to Magna Totem. We'll get some more mana back so we can keep on doing Magma Totems and inner fire. Right now we got a double judge going. We capitalized on it just for a second. That judge is still up. Let's see if we can judge another. Got the double judge going. And you can see like I get more health return whenever I do that. Just for like one move. But that 4% is a lot bigger than 2%. You see a noticeable jump in my health whenever I do that. Because Seal Light's working the whole time too. Oh, that's our Blessing of Kings. Let's get this guy. Let's get this guy. Did he really not see me? I know my name's Elude, but geez. We can remember to keep our water shield up. We don't have any mana problems. Keep cleaving our mana back down. Our Magma Totem. Water shield. Double judge. We lost our inner fire. That was a wasted opportunity. Inner fire before we thunderclap. There we go. That's the way. We can re-roar. I love that roar AoEs. So nice. Our demoralizing shout, I mean. We're reducing their attack power by 70 when we do that. There are a few different ways I can continue to reduce my damage, but they all require more talent points. I think I'm good on moves. I think once I switch out Revenge with Holy Shield, I'll be completely set up for the AoEs. But I haven't really wanted to do that too much because I enjoy the single target. Like, being able to Revenge in a PvP setting is pretty useful. And I've had to do that a couple times with this grind spot here. There's Horde that comes up and they try messing with me. And yesterday there was one, it's like a troll something. I don't even know what their spec was, but they had a pet and they were attacking me, and I was just doing my rotation and they started attacking me while I had a bunch of mobs on me. And all that did was, all the mobs were giving me so much rage that I could keep on spamming cleave and revenge on that person that was attacking me. And I just made quick work of them. Like, they went down fast. I was surprised because I did not think that this would be PvP viable at all. But as long as stuff's attacking you, it's kind of PvP viable. There's a revenge right there. Try to double dip on Judge here. We'll refresh our Magma Totem. It just went down. Try to remember to keep our water shield up. If we can manage to keep water shield up, we don't have any downtime. It's just a matter of hearing the little sound go off whenever it disappears. Alright, moving on. I thought I saw a chest, but guess not. I can actually beat the rotation here. RT Shock said, I decided to respect as lightning overload caster. Oh, nice, man. Keep revenge up. It's super useful DPS. I agree. Revenge is pretty good, especially single target. I haven't spec'd into it though, so it's not even cleaving for me right now. So in these AoE pulls, I tend to not revenge at all because it's more useful for me to thunderclap with all the boosted damage from thunderclap and cleave. So if I can manage it, if I'm above 40 rage, I'll revenge and cleave and thunderclap, I should say. And with inner fire, it's pretty legit. See, there's a cleave. Now with the single guy, if I get a revenge up, I'll revenge. They're usually down too quick though. Yeah, pretty much all I'm spending rage on is keeping demoralizing shout up, thunderclapping priority, and then cleaving extra rage off. And I've got in my talents a 15% more chance to crit strike, or no, increase the crit strike chance of your heroic strike, thunderclap, and cleave. So cleave and thunderclap are being buffed by that, and my chest. I get another 5% from my chest. So that's 20% more crit chance from cleave and thunderclap. Whereas the way I've managed my points, I didn't actually get anything into revenge. That could be something I spec into whenever I get more points. I didn't realize I left these guys. Sometimes I beat the spawn of these things and I don't manage to get them all. There we go. Now we're getting our stone skin. Let's spin some rage. We're capping rage. We usually don't want to do that. Spin the rage. I'm fudging right now. I like cleave too because you can cleave back to back as long as you got rage. So it's a good way to dump your rage quickly. It sucks when they disarm me because I can't cleave though. Put that totem back out. I like this though. Like, I feel like I'm always doing something every pull, and I feel like if I play it right, then it performs really well. So that overload, you're proccing a lot of chain lightnings or chain heals. Is that what you were going for, RT Shock? Or is it more just like chain lightning spam? I think overload too, that gives you a free double. Like if you is it on crit or is it just a chance? If you do a chain lightning, then it'll do the same spell again for free. I love it because like my buddy, he used to be a shaman. I always heard whenever his shit was proccing, you hear ka-chink, and then it would do it again, ka-chink, and then sometimes it go ka-chink, ka-chink, ka-chink. You keep hearing that little overload proc. It sounded nasty. His damage was spiked. Nobody could tank against him. Thought I heard something. Don't want to get snuck up on. See, we got a double revenge going right now. I preempted the magma totem. Did it a little too early, I think. Get a revenge off. Beautiful. That's what we like to see. This spot's good for farming too because you can chase the spawns and get pretty good at making your pulls more efficient. You'll get these little lulls in between one camp to the next, but one of the best benefits of this area is that turn in right over there. You can see the hut right here in the middle off in the distance. You can go sell. I think there's a repair vendor over there too. But what I've been doing is I just sell everything that's green and I'll leave all my blues in my bag. So anything green quality and below, unless it has like a really useful random enchant, I'll vendor and then I'll come right back out here. You get a lot of cloth too from these guys, like mage weave and stuff. So I've leveled my first aid almost completely up. But what I'll do with all the cloth that I get, and it's probably bad, I probably shouldn't be doing this, but I'll create heavy bandages as much as I can, and then I'll just vendor them. And that's been a pretty good source of income. Before I came out here, I had 100 gold, and I bought a guild bank tab for 100 gold. And I've worked my way back up to 97 gold since then. And this was just like some random casual farming yesterday that I did. And you know, actually come to think of it, now that I'm 42, I may want to actually go to a different grinding location. They say pirates next after this. There's our Mark of the Wild. May have to rebuff everything. There's our ice armor. That's demon armor. Get some mana. I don't think we have audio notifications for Seal Lighter, Rockbiter. There's our Blessings of Kings. I made it kind of look like a crown. Yeah, there's our Seal Light. And Rockbiter went off too, but I didn't have a notification for that. So now we're buffed back up and ready to pull. We have 8 bag slots left. So after this rotation, we're probably going to go to town and sell. Drop that stone skin. Refresh our inner fire. We should drop our magma totem. Try to double buff judgment. Change targets, get another judge. Judgment's coming up. Missed that judgment. Inner fire, then thunderclap. Cleave. And judge. Judge is a pretty good single target move too. Pretty decent. The next spawn's ready. Alright, so we'll gather them up. These guys were just finishing respawning. Somehow we got this dude over here at this camp with these guys. But as long as he keeps following us, it's all good. Sometimes you'll see a chest spawn at that camp. I've been leveling my bows a lot out here. Yeah, that guy reset. Damn. May actually try to tag him. Love you, son. Don't ever give the bad guys your back. Can't dodge, block, or parry from the back. I think you could dodge, but you can't block or parry from the back. They disarm me, so I can't cleave all my rage down. I could have magma totem though. I'm just sitting there staring at my bar. Got to rebuff inner fire. Holy Paladin says, oh, actually, first, RT Shock says 33% to fire, extra 50% damage spell. And then he says, I still don't have many spell damage items, so I run Maelstrom weapons for leveling and farming. Okay. You could also dual wield Flame Tongue. I don't know if you got dual wield or Flame Tongue, but Flame Tongue's a good source of spell damage. And then I think the Retribution Paladin, maybe it's the Prop Pally. One of those converts strength to or attack power to spell damage. Holy Paladin. What's up, Holy Paladin? He says, I am out of vanilla thing. I am so sorry. I have a deal with my friends to start playing TBC 243. We will stream. I am so sorry. It's alright, man. Let me know what your channel is, and or actually if this is the channel that you use that's tied with this character, and I'll definitely subscribe and watch some of your videos. Holy Paladin said, on some new server it will be epic. So sorry once again. No, man, it's all good. It's cool. You've been a good support for me, consistent viewer and subscriber all this time, so like that's all I can ask for. It's like you come by and check in and hang out. And I'll do the same if you're gonna be streaming for sure. I try to watch you guys consistently. There's like a handful of y'all that watch my stream that I watch what y'all do too. But there's too many to watch all of y'all's channels, so as I have time and I get a notification that you upload something, I try to go in and check whenever I'm not doing other stuff. And I'll try to do the same for you. But yeah, for sure, don't be sorry. There's a way to check your channel. I'm gonna have to do that after this pull because they're having my lunch right now. Refresh demoralizing shout before it falls. Thunderclap cleave. Inner fire. I don't know if we missed our inner fire before that. Sweet. Yeah, we could really take our time on this spec. When we first got out here, it was a little close, but since we've gotten the rotation down, and both the rotation of abilities and the rotation of the pulls, like since we figured that out, it's been a lot easier. Skull Splitter Helm. It's a 196 armor male item with 11 agility and 12 stamina. It looks cool. In comparison to what we have, this has more stamina, or no, more armor, less stamina, but more agility. I think we might go with this actually, because the agility is really useful for dodge and crit and stuff. And it has 6 more armor. We'll lose some stamina, but we're not too concerned with that. And it looks cool. We'll look like a tank now. Much tanky. We also picked up a journeyman's backpack, so that's awesome. We're going to drop that in the guild bank for sure. One of the lowbies in the guild will benefit from that. And Holy Paladin, I want to check your channel out. Go to channel, here we are. Do you mind if I link your channel? Oh no, it'll be a new channel. I will notice you and donate, you don't worry. Don't worry about that, man, it's all good. So is this right here, this isn't the channel that you're gonna do it on? Can I still subscribe to it? I'm gonna still subscribe to it and notify. Maybe whenever you make a video or something, host it on this channel so I'll get the notification or something. Like, I don't know. I just subscribe to you though. Whenever you do know the channel, let me know, and I'm definitely gonna follow you. RT Shock was saying that he was dual wielding Flame Tongue. Right, okay, so you're getting a lot of spell damage then, huh? Well, I know it scales like as you rank it up, that spell damage from Flame Tongue, but there's also points you can put into it, and I'm sure like most people, you're probably stretched for points, but if you can afford 3, you can increase the amount of spell damage you get from that Flame Tongue weapon with that elemental weapons. I thought to myself that elemental weapons would be more useful if you actually had Earth Living, Wind Fury, and Flame Tongue. Because then, like if you had all 3 of those, then switching to any one of those would be buffed by that talent. That's why I choose not to put points into it too, because it could benefit my Rockbiter, but I don't think it's as useful. Actually, I don't think it benefits Rockbiter. It says Wind Fury Flame Tongue, and Earth Living. Where does Rockbiter get benefited? I don't think they do benefit Rockbiter, do they? There's nowhere you can buff Rockbiter damage. So Rockbiter by itself is just... I guess it's something you either phase out of, you grow out of, and you don't use anymore, or... I don't know, I think the attack power is useful. JMVO says, what game is this? This is a Project Ascension World of Warcraft. It's a Wrath of the Lich King client, and it's set in vanilla WoW time. So like, we can get to level 60 and run like Molten Core and stuff. If you've never heard of World of Warcraft, it's a multiplayer massive online game, but it's like an RPG, so you can like get gear for your character and customize them and build them certain ways. And as you put that gear on, your character starts looking different. Mine has like a male helm and plate shoulders, and he looks like doo-doo right now. He looks like something out of like Goodwill or Salvation Army, because all of his gear's like mix matched. But you get special spells and abilities. You can use them in like rotations. Like every move you have has a cooldown, and if you read the tooltip to the right, in the bottom right here, it shows you what that spell does. And in this version specifically, you get like this silver dragon portrait, because in this version of World of Warcraft, like, we've already played all the expansions and everything like that. We've already played WoW from vanilla all the way up to Legion, which I think is like 5 or 6 expansions of this game. And in this version, you're the hero, like you're the elite mob, you're the rare mob that's running around in the world. And you can customize the way your character plays from all the different classes from the earlier game. Like back in the day, each color represented a different type of class you could be. Like the orange are druids. There's balanced druids, feral druids, and resto druids. And they have different abilities tied to them. Like balance is more of like a caster and CC or crowd control type. And casters do spell damage. Feral is more like beast and tiger type, like bears and stuff like that. You can get cat form, bear form. And they're shapeshifters too. That's kind of the theme of druids, is shapeshifting and being like nature damage dealers. Restorations like healing. You can help give your party hit points by throwing healing spells on them. And eventually you get to turn into a tree. Like you could shapeshift into a tree that heals. So like Mother Nature healing people. Let me catch up with chat. JMVO says, yeah, I play WoW and Legion on Ragnaros server, but you have many skills from other classes there. Yeah. RT Shock said 20% from AP to spell power conversion. Right, okay. So you picked up that talent I was telling you about in Prot, right? Was it Prot? It's either Prot or Ret. I think maybe Ret. Sanctified Wrath. One of these here. May even be holy, as far as I know. Which one was that? I think it's Prot, isn't it? Touched by the light. Increase your spell power by amount 5% equal to your strength. So, touched by the light. Did the light touch you, RT Shock? Show me on the doll where the light touched you. JMVO, he said he did play WoW and Legion. I played Legion as well. I think I was on the Kulturas or the Cosmodan server. Kulturas, I think. Holy Paladin says, okay, when I create a channel, I contact you in some way and then we'll talk. Maybe I could drag you to TBC and you'd have a great guild community and place open for you. See ya, stay strong. Alright, Holy Paladin, appreciate that, man. I was actually curious in Burning Crusade when Gummies was dropping, but they got a cease and desist, so it didn't stay up. But Yeah, definitely. If that TBC server stays up and I want to try something else out, maybe on the weekends I can join you in what you're doing. JMVO said that. And then Pentachromatic says it's a classless server. You can choose any spells from any class up to Wrath of the Lich King expansion. And its enhancement talents, the conversion talent. Oh, okay. So Touch by the Light, it converts strength specifically, but enhancement has a attack power conversion, I guess. Static shock. Is it enhancement? Which one converts the attack power? Reduces mana cost of your spells. Oh, this is it. Mental quickness. Reduce the mana cost of your instant cast shaman spells by 2%, and I guess that stacks up 3 times, so up to 6%. And increases your bonus spell damage by an amount equal to probably 12% of your attack power. Maybe it's 10% though. That's awesome. So you could double dip if you, especially if you have strength gear on. You can get mental quickness with Touched by the Light and double dip that spell power, attack power, or strength conversion to spell power. Interesting. That's a good idea. And then also, well, if you didn't actually pick up Flame Tongue weapons, you could dual wield Rockbiter and get that attack power converted, and then pick up the, what is it? It's not the Arms Warrior. It's the Fury Warriors Battle Shout with the Retribution Paladins, Blessing of Might, and just go ham. That's interesting. I think it'd be cool to build out an attack power or strength stacking spell conversion build. It'd be kind of like Lyfe's agility healer, except you'd be the strength and attack power version of that. Alright, I'm going to try something fancy here. Let's see if it works. I'm going to see if I can pull all these 3 camps all together. Looks like we got him. We got them all. We're doing it. We need to get our totem down, refresh our inner fire, and start spending some rage quickly. Cleave, cleave. Get our magma totem cooking. Oh, this is awesome. We can make this just 2 pulls. Look at him. Rah! 282 DPS. Look at me now. You want some of this? Reduce their attack power with demoralizing shout. Keep up inner fire. Keep up water shield. Shield block whenever we can. Got him. That was nasty. 346 DPS there. Ooh, what did the most damage? Thunderclap, of course. Retribution aura. One thing to note about recount specifically, if you're running it, if you have magma totem, for some reason it marries its DPS to retribution aura or consecration, like whatever holy damage ability you might have. So this retribution aura having 4700 damage could potentially be ticks of my magma totem as well. Oh, Mithril Shield Spike. I forgot I had that Shield Spike on, but every time I was blocking I was doing damage too, and that was 3%. Chilled. Chilled did 0 damage. But yeah, you can see how hard Thunderclap is hitting for me. That's why it's my priority. Every time it's off a cooldown I need to Thunderclap. And then Retribution Aura was a huge pickup. I'm glad I grabbed that Sanctified Retribution thing. My bags are full, so I'm taking a moment to rid myself of garbage items. I usually get rid of food first, even though it does sell pretty decent, but it's like the cheapest thing that I have, other than scrolls. Scroll of Spirit I don't ever use. What else can we get rid of? The Waste Wanderer's pouch, a single one of those we can get rid of. Everything else stacks. Alright. We got down pretty low there. We had like 10% health. Oh, a chest respawned too. 2 chests. I need to go sell first. I'm gonna go sell and come back and try to grab those 2 chests. It stopped raining? Yeah, man. It's good. Alright, RT Shock said 20%. And he said, I have 311 spell power from strength and AP. And I can crit for 1700 with lightning. Damn, man. That's nice. Also, another thing to note with the classless server, as you level up, you get resources called Ability Essence, which is the blue one, and Talent Essence, which is the purple one. It's just like in regular WoW, where every 2 levels you can get an ability. It's kind of the same with this one. But every 2 levels you can choose not to get an ability, and then double dip on higher level spells. Like right now, since I'm only 42, I can't pick up Hammer of Wrath until level 44. So you can only get each next spell as the class would in regular WoW when they reach that level. So you could do what I call pooling. You can pool your ability essence and talent essence and grab like higher level abilities later. So if I wanted to pull all my talents from 42 up to level 50, instead of just grabbing a move each couple of levels, I can grab like, 10 levels. That's what, 5 moves. I can grab 5 level 50 moves once I reach that 10th level. So you can have all the higher level moves if you pooled all your ability essence. Or you could just reset. Like, they don't stop you from resetting your talents or your spells, but as you can see, it gets more and more expensive the higher level you are and the more you reset, just like in regular WoW. So you usually want to be sparingly with those. Another thing to note, as I'm thinking of it, is once you do get a spell, my Book of Ascension's bugged right now, but once you do get a spell, you can actually have it to where you can train each next rank up of that spell with a Book of Ascension. And all this is a moves trainer. And right now, since I hit level 42, I don't have any other spell I need to learn yet. I already have the highest rank at my level for most of these. Yeah. But if you don't have a Book of Ascension, it's kind of lame because you got to travel to each trainer that trains that ability. So if I got a bunch of paladin spells, right now all I have is Blessing of Kings and Judgment. I would have to go to the paladin trainer to do that. So like in Stormwind, he's up by where the priests are in the northern part, the cathedral area. Mark of the Wild, I have to go to the druid trainer for that. So I got to run over to the grassy part of Stormwind to train that. Ice armor, I got to go to the portals and stuff like that. So you can see it's a little annoying the more classes that you pick up from if you don't have that book, or if you can't find someone else in the city that has that book that's just, standing there AFK with it out. I used to love finding somebody else's book and running up to it, because then you train all your shit without having to run all over the damn zone for 30 minutes. Right, this is a free server, but Blizzard, like, it's not affiliated with Blizzard any more than just the fact that it's the Wrath of the Lich King client. It's kind of like Minecraft, where they have mods. It's not the base game, but it's like a modded version of the game. And it's so much not like Blizzard that I think they can get away with it. Whereas if you're playing like the BC server, which they got a cease and desist, by the way, not too long ago when they launched theirs, the Gummies guys, that is exactly what's in the game right now even if you're playing Legion, if you're leveling up and you get to the BC content, you're leveling through that exact game, like the Burning Crusade in Outlands, with Draenei, with Blood Elves, doing quests in Nagrand, and that's so much like the release version that I think that they have the legitimacy of the cease and desist. Whereas like with this, it's a different game. Like, it is WoW, it's based on WoW, but it's more like a parody of WoW than it is a direct copy, because it's got like a lot of the same items and abilities and moves and stuff like that, but it's used in a way that's interpreted differently. So I don't think it's a direct cookie cutter copy. At least that's how I've seen it. That's how I think about it. It's like, oh, that must be why they're still in, you know, in service. Well, that's why they're still able to run this server. Or it could be too, like, maybe it's not an American-based server. I actually don't know where it's based. Dusky leather boots, we'll just vendor that. And then we could probably make a lot of money off of this cloth here if we just auction it. But what I've been doing just to save time is I've just been creating bandages out of it and then vendor trashing the band-aids. That's a big source of income for me lately. Pentachromatic says, you're completely safe playing on the server though. No, it doesn't matter which private server. It's Blizzard's intellectual property, so they could shut down any private server. And they only shut down the big servers because of that, because it's that much of work. Yeah, you're right. And also, like, what matters to them is whether or not people are making money off of it. I was worried with this server because they have that store where you can buy Books of Ascension, and the Book of Ascension is their own game, or their not their own game, but their own item. Like, they created the model for it and the animations and stuff like that. So them selling that, and even its functionality, like the use of it, it's unique too. But like, that's what they're making money off of, the things that they're creating. So I don't think that that's as much of an issue. They're not charging a subscription or licensing like Blizzard does. Like, whenever you read the EULA when you're playing Legion, that's what it is. It's the usage of the licensing that you're agreeing to. So I think that's how they kind of get around with this one. But that too, like how big it is and how much it affects Blizzard release, is an issue. I think Asmongold, that guy, he was talking about how private servers affect the release version. Some people will watch people on a private server and they'll think, oh, this is World of Warcraft, and then they'll go and buy World of Warcraft, the release version, and they'll see a completely different game because they get like artifact weapons and flying mounts and stuff like that. And they'll be like, this is nothing like the streamer that I watch plays. And they'll get really upset and want to return the game because it's not what they had thought or what was advertised to them. So then Blizzard has to deal with the fallout of that, and unhappy customers make unhappy developers. But this is fun. I mean, even if it does go away, the way I see private servers is, this is a potential time waste. So I only want to put as much time as I care about wasting into it. And for me, like, it's fun. It's just fun to play. So, like, it's worth the $15 that I paid for the Book of Ascension to support this server. And I feel like I've gotten $15 worth of gameplay out of it. So I ain't mad at that. And even if it goes away, I mean, I buy a burger from McDonald's that goes away. So, like, I'm wasting my money there just as much as I'm wasting my money here. So that's how I see it anyways. I'm gonna go to the bank and drop these 2 backpacks off. This is a 14 slaughter too. And while I'm over there, no, the chests. I gotta go get those chests. I was gonna say, while I'm over there, I'll probably drop those off at the bank and look up the next grinding location. But I even know where the next grinding location is. It's the Pirates. It's up over here, and I got a couple quests for that as well. We've detected an enemy in the area. Oh, it's an undead dude. Me and him have went rounds before. I fought this guy the other day. He got me and I got him, so we're about evenly matched. I usually try to leave him alone, but we'll see if he leaves me alone. What's his name? Vocal? Or Vocal? Probably Vocal. Look at here, Vocal. You don't start nothing, there won't be nothing. I got 2 minutes on all the buffs. I think I see him because he tries to farm this area too. So we compete for stuff. Let me get this chest before he comes. Loot it. There. Watch, I'm just gonna go say hi. Wave. Oh, he wants some. I like to get him on my totems. He still takes them down. And as long as he's hitting me, I can keep putting him down. So it's like a win-win. Totems are a good distraction from the damage I take, and then they're also a good way to keep my buffs up. And Water Shield makes it to where I can keep refreshing my totems. Oh, I'm losing my buffs. That could be a problem though. Not good. Not good. Losing my buffs. Just keep the Water Shield up. His barrel will continue giving me my mana. Reduces attack power. Get our Seal of Light so we can continue self-healing. Revenge is really good for PvP. Get our attack power. Me and him fight for a while because we're both tanks. He focuses on my totems, I love it. He's gonna run now. Don't you run from me. Don't run. Oh no. I'm out of I'll just whittle him down. His barrel make it to where I can keep on casting stuff. As long as I keep my Water Shield up. Come on, Vocal. Don't run from me. Don't run. Let's get our mana return. He's home. Yeah, he's home. Keep judging him. We'll shoot him down with the bow. Switching in and out of form costs us, so we need to let his bear hit us a few times. Man, I keep missing. Oh. Water Shield. Run, run. Keep letting his bear hit us, get some more mana. I crit him for 8. Did you see that? Oh, his bear charged me. He's trying to mana up. There we go. Man, no matter what, I keep missing this judgment. It's kind of annoying. He's got some MP5. I think he popped a mana potion. He's playing the long game. Do you have a sword in your inventory? Yeah, actually, I got a two-handed sword. I got a few. Don't do that to me. Hold on. Look at that. Still getting them. It's all that damage reduction. Why won't you die? Get him, get him, get him. He's almost dead. Come on, get him. Got him. Yay. Man, see, we play chess. We don't play checkers. I got 10 glory. I need 175 glory to reach the next rank. I got another one at the bottom back. Oh no, this is the broken blade of heroes. It's like a blacksmithing thing. This neck could be legit. No, it's not. It's whack. Alright, let's gather all this stuff up so we can get some mana back. Another cool thing about water shields, like I almost never have to drink. We're gonna get a big pull. Maybe we can get these guys. I want to give him my back. I missed. I need to level these bows up. Alright, here we go. Start cleaving with demoralizing shout. Drop the totem. Get our magma totem going. Refresh our inner fire, then stomp. There's a guy over here. We gotta remember to keep our water shield up. Refresh our magma totem. And our inner fire. Water shield. So much of surviving relies on that water shield though. I'm really digging this spec though. Blue Strider said, epically done, cuz. What's up, Blue Strider? How's it doing, cuz? Doing alright? If any of y'all are curious about my build here, at the beginning of this video, I kind of explained what I'm doing. So you can actually drag your slider all the way to the beginning and see this spec explained. and then just hit live in order to catch right back up to what I'm doing. If you got any suggestions or questions or anything like that, I'm always down to hear feedback. A lot of the times y'all point out shit to me that I don't even know, and I learn and grow better from that, so it's always appreciated. It's good to see you on the stream, cuz. Did you actually get your shit up? Did you finish downloading and installing the game? I got a one-handed axe just now. 40 to 75. Not better than what I have, but it's a one-handed axe that increases the damage you deal with two-handed melee weapons by 1%. GG. I had a two-hander there too. Attack power by 66 when fighting undead. Maybe I could have put it on when I was fighting that Forsaken dude. He would have died quickly. We're gonna grab this guy and move on to this next camp here. Yeah, I've seen that dude before. The undead dude, the vocal guy. He's killed me before, but I've leveled since then, so I'm able to hit him more often now. Him and this troll like hunter, I guess? Like, I don't know. I don't know what's a hunter anymore now that we got everybody can use pets. Alright. Let's reduce their attack power, keep cleaving, magma totem, judge, thunderclap, priority, downtime. We only have downtime because we can't always cleave because they disarm us. Need to refresh inner fire. We'll refresh the magma totem. Another really neat thing about this spec is I don't have to worry if I'm in the middle of a fight whenever somebody comes. If somebody tries to gank me while I'm in the middle of the fight, I'm usually a lot stronger because I got so much more rage that I can draw upon. When I'm fighting one-on-one like that, I don't have very much rage because I'm not getting hit by a whole lot of different things. But getting hit is the biggest thing with this spec. That's why it works so well with AoEs, because I get more mana when I get hit with water shield, and I get more rage whenever I dodge, block, and parry all those hits. Someone brought up an interesting thing the other day whenever I was I think I was just playing. I was reading world chat I should say. You don't see very many casters. They said something like, are casters not viable in this version of the game because nobody specs caster? And I realized that. I was like, well, aside from like your void strikers, the people with the void walker sacrificing flame striking builds, you don't really see casters at all. You could be a really fancy healer, like a really good healer, but you usually don't want to quest or level as a healer. Healing's usually only useful for dungeons. And that's kind of the reason why I wish we had dual spec too, because I feel like I would try out a whole lot of different things more if we had dual spec, because then I would have a ranged DPS spec or a heal spec, and then a tanking melee spec or PvP spec. Like, you could have two different types of specs. And I don't think you can get dual spec until level 60. And they have as much as quad spec once you hit 60, but it's supposed to be really expensive. Or progressively more expensive the more specs you get. Pentachromatic says because everybody has an interrupt spell or stuns. Yeah, true. I guess PvP is really hard as a caster. But I feel like you can mitigate that if you get like stun resist and like concentration aura. You could use concentration aura from holy paladins to resist that stuff. But then, like, it is kind of annoying that a caster would have to spec into so much of that stuff just to be viable. They wouldn't be able to really have very many damaging abilities. But I feel like it's the same with melee, or I know tanking specifically. Like, I take spell damage like a poon. I get nailed down by some spells. So I actually had to go out of my way to waste talents on spell damage reduction or resist type talents. So I guess it kind of, it sounds balanced. It sounds like it would be balanced if, but at the same time, like, if a DPS can close the gap, like if a melee DPS specifically can close the gap and stun you for 6 seconds or so with a kidney shot or stun of justice or whatever, then that's all the time they need to double crit you down really fast with as much strength as they can stack. It's just all who pops their cooldown first and who interrupts or stuns first. Two-handed sword, 8 strength, 15 stamina. That's a big old sword too. No RE on it though. Concentration aura has a huge CD. It's just an aura, but improved, you're right, yeah, the improved like aura mastery, that does have a huge cooldown. But like, just specking into it, it says increases the effect of your concentration aura, reduces the duration of silence or interrupt by 10%, and I don't know if that stacks as you improve it with 3 points, but aura mastery is a 2-minute cooldown. But for 6 seconds, you can get a few huge fireballs off in that amount of time. And maybe if you go into the Frost Mage and you get some stuff like Ice Block to use to kind of reset combat, or invisibility and vanish, like you can be kind of like a roguey, like in and out of combat type spellcaster. I don't know, I'd have to play with it. Like, I got a few ideas that I'm thinking about trying out, but my main goal has been hitting 60 first, and the best way that I found so far, and I haven't really tried too many different methods by the way, but the best way I found so far for leveling is this really tanky AoE nuke down way. This kind of what I'm doing right now. I haven't found anything better for leveling other than this yet though. Not that I'm the end-all be-all master at this game, or like the best alliance side leveler that there is. Like, I by no stretch of the imagination claim to be, but anything I've tried up to this point, whether it's like a melee type, a caster type, or trying to heal dungeons, has not been as good XP per hour as this. Like, you just see the purple numbers fly in this spec. So I've really been digging it. Pentachromatic said, that's what I don't like about this server. Unless they add some diminishing returns to stuns or silences, PvP won't be that popular on this server. I think they do have diminishing returns, don't they? Like, in vanilla WoW, you can perpetually chain fear someone, but in this version, like, you gain more resistance to it the more they use it. But I guess if they maybe figured out a way to consolidate, like, the snares and the roots and the stuns, like, into just being snares, roots, and stuns resistance building each time you get one of those, then it could be more useful. But it's not really designed like that in this version, because in Wrath of the Lich King, if you got kidney shotted, then you were stunned by that kidney shot from a rogue, and then you would gain more resistance to that kidney shot the more they used it. But if you were Hammer of Justice stunned by a paladin, then paladin's got like a 1 minute, maybe 40-second cooldown on that if they spec into it. and there's enough of a gap to where you wouldn't get stunned by that right afterwards. Kidney shot specifically though would be less effective. Same with like polymorph and stuff, the more that they used it. And I think even fear was less effective the more they used it. But there's nothing stopping somebody from Seal of Justice, Hammer of Justice, Kidney Shot, Cat Form Pounce, like going into all those different stuns. Like, yeah, that could be a nightmare. Yes, sir? What is that?
It's supposed to be its biggest tsunami machine.
Oh, that's a tsunami machine? Like it makes tsunamis?
Yeah. It's high, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It even goes up to there to the people that are watching. It's crazy.
Where is that? What's it called? Delta Flume? Dang. That's pretty nuts. My son was showing me something. Yeah, man. I think I don't want to level as a caster. And that's probably like what a lot of people, they probably tell themselves like they don't want to level as a caster. Like I was running around here yesterday and I needed help with somebody. I was being chased by somebody who had killed me a couple times. And it was right here in this area, and I ran by a level 47, and I was like, oh, I'm only 40 and he's 47, he could probably take this guy that's chasing me. I think the dude chasing me was like 44 or 46. And I whispered to him, I was like, hey, can you help me with this guy? And I'm running away from the thing in cheetah form while the guy's trying to attack me. And he turns around, the level 47 caster type, turns around to help me, and just immediately gets one shot. And I was like, oh no. And I thought we were gonna like stand and fight, but I had to run again. Like I couldn't do anything after he died. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna survive this. But he whispered me and he's like, sorry man, I'm set up for AoE farm, I can't really PvP. And I felt so bad. I was like, damn, like this dude actually has to make a choice. He has to either be PvP viable or AoE farm viable. And that's I guess the extent of caster types on this server. I was just like, man, that kind of sucks. At least in the spec I'm in with the tanking AoE thing, I'm still tanky against players. And it's even more so since I went into the nether protection thing from this nether protection. Like I can become tanky towards even spellcasters from any school of magic with that talent. But then at the same time, so can other people. I think it's just a matter of speccing in a way that you don't overextend. And I've said that a couple times already on the stream. Like, I think you do best when you focus on one thing that you're going to be really good at. And it's real hard because you want to pick like all the things. Because all the things is better than... Like, it sounds better than one thing, but all the things... You can be spread so thin that you're not good at any one thing, even though you can do everything. But I don't know, like, I've never actually, like, tested that out other than building my AoE tank specs. I could say, like, I'm decent at PvP if somebody's not, like, more than 5 levels ahead of me, because I'm tanky, like, the way I've kind of built this out. But there's still people who walk up to me with, like, I don't even know what, like, they get these crazy builds where they can still, like, two-shot me. Frostbrand, that was what it was. This person took me down with the Frostbrand weapon attack, and it was, like, in the damage ranking on Recount, whenever I looked at damage taken, it was like, they took me down, 40% of their damage was Frostbrand weapon. And somehow that, like, chain procced or double procced or something, like, I don't even know, like, maybe they had Reckoning and Wind Fury. No, they had Frostbrand, so they couldn't have Wind Fury. Like, they did something to where they hit me more than a few times with Frostbrand, and it almost one-shot me, even with my tank setup thing the way it is now. And there's certain kind of, maybe there's like certain moves that are just that broken But I don't know, like, I still don't know how they took me down so fast that day. Because it was the same person that just a pull before I had killed them. So I don't know, like maybe it's like those little PvP twinks at level 19 too, where you can twink yourself out with crits and rely on hemorrhage. That was the next damaging ability that they had, was hemorrhage and frostbrand. Specifically, those two were what hurt me so bad whenever I fought them. But hemorrhage is really cheap, doesn't cost any mana, and it increases the physical damage the target that you hit takes. And I guess if that procs with Wind Fury or something, or Seal of Command procs perfectly, then you could see like crit 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 really fast. And that takes people down in no time. Rockin' one sock. And Blue Strider 25 says, I'm gonna make a caster leveler. Yeah, I think I want to make a caster leveler as well. Because it sounds impossible, or it looks impossible right now. Like, I wouldn't know how I would go about doing that. But, like, it'd have to be PvP farm viable, or PvP and maybe questing. Like, you could probably get by with either questing or AoE farming, but it's a lot harder to AoE farm with the caster, in my opinion. I don't really know. Like, maybe with Void Sacrifice it's possible, but so much of your points get spent on generating soul shards and then having that useless spell anytime you don't need soul shards. And your Void Walker costs stuff, and you have to put points into your Void Walker to make him more tanky, or for him to heal after every pull so you don't have downtime. Like, it's hard as a caster to get to an AoE farm, I think, than it would be if you had like a single target like nuke spec and then just quested really quickly all the way up. I mean, maybe there's a progression with questing that you could follow that wouldn't be so painful. But Rockin' One Sock says, Shadow Warrior or Maelstrom Chicken are good caster melee hybrids. Oh yeah, those are, I heard about the Maelstrom Chicken. Nature damage and then Maelstrom. That could be pretty cool. Then Pentachromatic says, it's viable if you avoid PvP. Right, yeah, you gotta avoid PvP though. Tank Slut. They're a moo cow. I'm just gonna gather these and pretend like I don't see moo cow there. And then if they don't start nothing, they won't be nothing. Make sure they didn't tag anything. Okay, they were just helping me out. It's totally possible to avoid PvP too. You gotta kind of quest in certain time frames though, like, ooh, Ankh of Life, do you see that? You gotta quest at certain times of the day and avoid certain areas. Ankh of Life reduces the mana cost of your shaman healing spells by 1%. Use, heal your target for 135 to 165, 5-minute cooldown. That's pretty boo-boo. Maybe for reducing the cost of your shaman healing spells it's decent, but yeah, I guess unless you tie that to like maybe an instant cast shock ability or something like Holy Shock. Make it a macro so every time it's up it casts and that's just a little bit bonus to your heal. That could be pretty cool, but as it is right now, that's pretty dinky. It's just a slot that gets filled by that item. What does it sell for? Yeah, about a gold. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I've made 115 gold just from grinding this area and vendor trashing everything green. And that's not been too bad. Well, somebody else is out here, so I gotta wait for respawns now. I may move on to the pirate area down here to the southeast. Before I do, I'm going to do a couple more rotations here. Actually, I probably want to just go ahead and grind out this other half of this level and then move up to the pirates after that. But I'm going to do a quick AFK. I'm going to go bio right quick while I wait for these little spots here to respawn. And then I'll buff up and do the rotation again. I'll be right back 1 minute. Alrighty, I'm back. Let's buff up. More buffs than my mana pool can handle. Uh-oh, they're starting to respawn. Yeah, boy. I wish I could mine thorium. That vein's just mocking me right there. I've still not got my mining up all the way since the nodes were bugged for so long. But it's up pretty high. I can at least mine gold now. Thorium's probably like what? What does thorium cost? Look, this is all iron and mithril here. Here we are. 245? Yeah, I'm not going to be anywhere near 245 for a while. Alright, let's start pulling. I think there's enough here to start tanking down. Looks like it's still kind of respawning though. Look, there's Tank Slut. That was the one we just saw, right? The moo cow. Ain't nobody scared of you, Tank Slut. Missed an opportunity there. We should have interfired before we thunderstomped. That's okay though. Dude, disarm me. He's like the last one. The Ziggler. That'll be a nice drop there. Did it RE? Yes it did. Increases the crit strike chance of Fire Blast, Scorch, Arcane Blast, and Cone of Cold. I actually thought it'd be interesting to pick up talents that would make me something like a Frost Warrior. Pick up the Frost Chill effect stuff all down the Frosty tree, and then go into spell power from strength and attack power stuff and be like a Frost Warrior. You may be asking yourself, you mean Death Knight? No, no, I don't mean Death Knight. I mean a Frost Warrior. I think it'd be really cool to get... We said that Ice Lance doesn't actually come into play for Frost Mages until BC or Wrath of the Lich King, but I still think that you could get like Presence of Mind and Frostbolt, and then get it to where you don't interrupt spell casting whenever you're taking damage in melee range casting Frostbolt, and just be like in their face, casting in their face, throwing Frostbolts at them. And the way the build would work out in my mind is you'd probably have them on the run pretty quickly with all the crit strike damage that you'd be doing. They'd probably start trying to get away from you very quickly, and then you'd start intercepting and charging and Kona Colding and Frost Novaing. Like, I got this idea in my head. I don't know if I would be able to pick up enough talents to make it work though, because it's going to be a huge mix of talents and spells, and it's really easy to spread yourself thin. I wonder if intercepting and all that stuff like Warbringer and charge and intercept and all that would be too much. Yeah, that tank slut took this area, and I'm not calling them that. That was their name, Tank Slut. Let me see if I can pull these 4 with that one before it resets. Nope, it reset. It's not gonna work. Still 4 is better than 1. Leveling these bows. There we go. You ain't scared nobody, Tank Slut. Yeah, I think I'm going to drop Revenge and pick up Holy Shield. I need a talent for that though, so maybe in the next level I'll do that. Actually, no, I think I have a spare talent. Yeah, I do. No, that's a AE, never mind. In the next level I would have to pick it up. I wanted to fully spec out Defensive Stance first. With improved Defensive Stance I get this Enrage that increases physical damage by 10%, which makes it to where the decreases damage done or damaged in healing caused by 10% is kind of nullified. And plus having that much more spell resistance always helps. I think it's 6% more now, if I remember correctly. Yeah. A spell damage taken, all spell damage taken is reduced by 6%, plus the nether protection stuff. So it's like 36% on top of the 10% here. So it's actually like 46%. Yeah, that tank slut's kind of ruined this area for me, so I think I'm probably just going to go ahead and move on to pirates. Or I'll just keep running around and show my presence is known here. Ain't nobody scared of you. Oh man, she's taking them. What are they running with? Blessing of Sanctuary. They're stam stacking. Stam stacking pretty hard actually. Devotion Aura. Replenishment's cool. They got the holy shield. So they're split between stamina, probably damage reduction with righteous fury. And they're down the ret tree quite a bit too. Redoubt, yeah, that's prot. They're more like a traditional prot warrior, or prot pally I should say. They can be questing here, right? These aren't quest items. Or quest mobs, are they? Because if they're questing, maybe they'll just finish up and leave. And as long as I'm here, they're not making good XP, so... They wouldn't stick around very long if they're looking at the XP per hour benefit. They are quest mobs? Oh, okay. That's probably why then. Okay, so if they're questing, then we'll give them the rest of the mobs here while we go to town. I'm going to drop off these bags in the guild bank and then clear my inventory and repair. I might just drop these blues in there so I can sell them later on an alt or something. Yeah, I'll probably just sell these. Ankh of Lyfe. All of the blues. Because blues are so cheap, I don't think there'd be any point in cluttering the bank with blue items. I think bags are more useful for anybody who has like alts or something that they want to level. It'd be easy for them to just go to the bank, grab some bags, and move on. And these tough scorpid gloves and stuff like that, they're not rare enough to where you can't just go out and farm for 5 minutes and grab those, so I'm not going to be holding on to these either. Gotta prioritize whenever you're dealing with the inventory boss. I was starting to throw cloth as well into the guild bank, but I don't think I'll keep that in the guild bank either because cloth is a dime a dozen. Find that stuff everywhere, it seems. More than you need. I've already maxed first aid. I need to train the next rank up. I should be doing rune cloth stuff now, I think. Oh. Let's sell first and repair. I don't think I've repaired in a while. I think this is the repair over here. Yeah. What's up, bro? I need to repair. Momo Kiki, a level 6+ priest. Oh, that's cool. You can see how many levels higher than you they are. Oh, this is the auction house. I was like, where's the bank? Here it is. Right, we're not going to keep this cloth in here. For some reason, whenever I put these items in the bank, it creates these other items that aren't actually there. The Test Wand J Chow and Scroll of Intellect, and that's not, those aren't actually there. But Gloves of Holy Might and Nightblade are spawning them when I put them in for some reason. It's very strange. That'll be useful for somebody starting out though. And then the blues, I'm gonna put in my, no, I can't put them in my own bank because my bank's full of crap for leveling blacksmithing, but I haven't had a chance to do that yet. I think I'm just gonna mail them to my bank all. Momo Kiki. Yeah, all this stuff is coming back from the auction house. So much of it isn't worth putting on the auction house anymore because it's come back a couple times, so I might just vendor trash those items. Stalwart. I've resolved that I'm only going to sell blues and epics. Everything that's green or below or crafting mats or anything like that, I'm just going to go ahead and vendor. Stalwart will sell those. And I don't think there's anything else blue. That's blue. I will sell green on the auction house if it has like a decent random enchant, though. I don't think there are any more greens that I have that are like that. This one, plate waste. Your range crits cause your pet to generate focus. It's a strength belt. Probably not. If that was agility, then yeah, but it's strength, so no. Broken Blade of Heroes. This drops often enough to where it's not useful to sell. Alright, so that's it. And then we're going to give him 5 gold just in case deposits are too expensive. Alright, vendor some stuff. Probably the innkeeper would be the closest vendor.
Talk to me. Glad I could help.
Declan has come online. What's up, man? How's it going, Declan? Bread is boo-boo. We're gonna just craft all this cloth into band-aids and then we'll sell that. Pentachromatic said they are. They are? What do you mean they are? I missed that. Declan, hey cuz. Oh, that's cuz. What's up, cuz? My bad, man. It's good to see you on. So, is this your caster? Is this your caster you gonna level? I'm very intrigued by caster because it's so low pop. That means that you'd have a good opportunity to get a lot of gear that nobody else would want, and if you could make it work, nobody would be able to stand against you, because caster's like, I think melee is the anti-caster, but caster can be the anti-melee as well. Like, you can take people down as a caster if you play it right. It's just, I think, a lot harder to play a caster good. He's just going to be a bait alt, but I figured to be re-leveling him from scratch. It would be better than re-leveling him from scratch. Ah, true that. Ah, I see. Grab those bags from the G-Bank if you need. That's what they're there for too.
Glad I could help.
Alright, we're gonna vendor the band-aids and just get whatever we can from those. Scrolls, I don't know, I've been holding on to the agility scrolls for a while. We'll get rid of those. Scrolls of stamina are cool. Scroll of armor's decent too. We'll just try to remember to use those as we get them. The rest of the stuff we're just gonna vendor. This has more stamina and agility and armor. If it doesn't look cool, no, it doesn't look cool. We're gonna get rid of it. And then we're vendoring all this gorilla hair. When we were in STV, we were killing gorillas, but they were so spread out and they weren't giving good enough XP for it to be viable for very long. We're getting ready to go to the pirate area, so we want to make sure as many things are out of our bags as possible. And this is actually the smallest I've seen my inventory in a while. And damn the distress beacon, nobody cares about. Alright. We'll get some more arrows too. Yeah man, do it. They easy to get at higher levels, and I want to make low levels life easier. Once you get slots, you get more money so fast. It's not worth sitting on. Not using them.
Time is money, friend.
Time is money, friend. I really need to level my profession so I can quit getting all this inventory space taken up.
Have a good one.
Right. Let's go and get arrows. That's what I'm trying to remember before. Don't want to forget. Arrows. Is there general? Oh, guns. This is probably the right guy.
Yeah, what do you want?
No.
Real. I got what you need.
I need a general goods vendor. Alchemy. Oh man, I don't know where the general goods vendor is. I want noggin fogger too while I'm here. I forget which level that is.
Interesting.
Handle with care. Goblin engineering. Is there a general goods vendor in here? Butcher? Maybe the innkeeper.
Hurry back.
Well, where the hell can I get some arrows? Innkeeper, repair, reagents. Those are bankers. Oh man, I'm just gonna move on. Cause I can't seem to find the vendor. Mining? Tailoring supplies? That's the gunsmith? Alchemy supplies? Where's the noggin fogger quest? He's up here. I think this is the noggin fogger guy.
Time is money, friend.
He tells me to do a water survey.
Glad I could help.
I might actually do this. It's level 46. I might need to wait a while before I can actually do it. Alchemy supplies. Is there really not a vendor for arrows in this town? Maybe the engineering trainer? There's usually a vendor that's accompanying him somewhere. Rockin' One Sock says, quest from Goblin by the bank. You got 600. You're fine for a while. No, it's the Goblin with the hollow quest. Start by the auction house. In Discord, I'll show you. Oh, I'm not in Discord? I see it up on the game, so I always think that I'm in it, but this overlay lies to me. Congrats on 4 days, filter working. What's up, man?
Yo, yo.
How's it going?
Good. Okay, so Noggin Fogger is the goblin over by the stairs that go down to the auction house. You're not high enough for the quest yet.
Oh, right here. Okay, I see him.
Talk to me.
And then
Hurry back.
Well, I'm gonna delete
arrows go towards the so it's over kind of by where you got the water survey. It's in one of those buildings.
that. Okay. Gunsmith. Alchemy, Armorsmith, or superior armor. The Gunsmith doesn't have any. He's got bullets.
Gunsmith, I thought there was a bow there also.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't think they have one.
Well, you got 600. You're good for a bit.
Should be. I know that the vendor over there by the coast at Steamweedle Port has one. I just didn't want to run over there.
I watched you chase that guy around in cat form for like an hour earlier. It's pretty funny.
We do that every time we see each other, me and that guy. At first it was me running from him, but...
You need like some sort of kick or stun so he didn't heal so much.
I'll just get him through attrition.
If you would have had water, if you would have had wind shear, he'd have been dead in no time. You could have kicked him every time he went to heal, basically.
Yeah. I haven't been able to afford anything outside of the shit that I got so far, though. I want to get Holy Shield, but I don't want to sacrifice Revenge because it hits so hard single target. But I figured if I did, I'd probably replace Revenge with Holy Shield.
I think you'd probably get more benefit out of Revenge.
Yeah, but I haven't really spec'd out. I gotta put a point into it or two. So it's not even cleaving right now, it's just a single target thing.
Yeah, probably more worthwhile because you're going to get more procs and you're not going to yourself as fast. You'll use your raid, which seems to be plentiful.
Yeah, I got it mainly for Thunderclap and Cleave because those are up to 20% more crit strike with the gear I have on and then the talents. So all my rage goes into Thunderclap and Cleave, and then Demoralizing Shout every once in a while. So I find myself not revenging at all because I'm saving rage for my next Cleave. That's what I was thinking. It'd probably be worth just getting rid of that because then I can at least use a little bit more mana. And Water Shield's gave me so much mana. Sometimes I'm just capped on mana.
Yeah.
And
another good one to take.
It's hard.
I know it's at 60, but freaking what's the Prot Warrior stun? Shockwave.
Yeah, Shockwave's legit.
Dude, that does so much damage as a DPS. I see it crit for like 1,000 on like several mobs in an AoE pool.
Hell yeah.
But,
there's a lot of stuff I want to do later.
Yeah, I gotta go. I just thought I'd try to give you some help because you were looking for that stuff.
Oh, okay. Alright, man. Appreciate it.
Yep. Off to work. Later, boss.
Take it easy. Alright, we got plenty of arrows now. We're gonna go down the coast here and mess with some pirates. We might as well rebuff along the way. Look at that. There's like a party of 3 there. 42, 41, 40. I think Umbre specifically we were messing with before. Them dudes rolling deep. They're all the deep run raiders. So this server primarily, it seems like, are the deep run raiders for Horde, and then I see on the Alliance side a lot of people that are they're in the one Rockin' One Socks in. He was the guy that was just in chat. He's in Probably Drunk, I think is the name of their guild. Those seem to be the largest guilds on the server, or the ones that I see the most in the levels and the level ranges that I've been in. Declan said, wow, I can't really see any caster builds with synergy unless they're hybrid, melee, or hunter. Yeah, man, I guess that's why it's hard. I think they may become more viable at higher levels. That's why I want to get a tune maxed so badly now. Hell, in the future I may transition Elude to caster for all I know. I just want to max him so I can see some builds play out. Yeah, it seems like so much of it is just leveling up. Once you get leveled up, you have so many more abilities and talent essences that you can use to try these different builds out. Okay, so we're at the pirates now. Let's find out which one of these are going to be annoying, or where the area that we can take the most is going to be. I don't really know what to expect. Oh, the gun wielding ones are going to be frustrating, I bet. So I'm going to have to find a good way to LOS these guys. Maybe in the tent here? I don't know if I could LOS these into the tent. Did that work? Oh yeah, I think it did. Declan said, I'm trying to take my time leveling multiple tunes. Once I hit max, I'll probably quit. There's nothing to do but raid. I don't know what yet there is to do at max, because I haven't maxed anybody. But yeah, it looks like Molten Core is a big deal right now. But I always feel like I'm going to cross that bridge when I come to it. Most of the time I switch in games or lose interest in something before I even get to see what in-game looks like. I hope with this server that's not the case though. As long as it remains fun, I'm going to keep playing though. And as far as I've played so far, it's been fun. So I ain't got no complaints yet. I've even invested into it at this point because I've had so much fun. The different builds and everything, like going out and just even PvPing could probably get interesting. But I don't know, like, I think if you want to max and then quit, the quickest way to do that is the Sargeras server. They say you can hit level 60 in 2 days on Sargeras. But I've kind of enjoyed the long haul. I want to get into groups though. I want to find some groups that farm some dungeons, because the progression of leveling. And Suna Uchicha has subscribed to the Stalwart Vanguard. Welcome to the Stalwart Vanguard. And it's good to see you, man. I actually haven't seen your name in chat, so I figured you're probably just somebody that swung by and started lurking. And that's all good. We enjoy the lurkers here. I myself usually lurk on a few different streams whenever I'm watching. That Rockin' One Sock guy that was just in chat, I like to lurk on his streams sometimes. Salty Dead, he's another one that I like to watch. I would say Lyfe and Tommy Ruin and all them, but I don't ever see them online. Not whenever I can watch, at least. But I watch their videos even after they've streamed. These guys are higher level, so I need to pay attention to that. Quit pulling so liberally. All of our text on the chat here is kind of scrolled what Cuz was telling me off. So I'm going to have to catch up with that. Asuna Uchicha said, hey, I'm a level 110 on WoW. Oh, nice, man. So you play the Legion version. Very cool. I had a lot of fun with Legion for a while. And then I ended up getting into these other private server games after I maxed out one of every tune. Except for Priest. I think Priest or Hunter, one of those two, I didn't actually max out yet. But I had the maxed out Warrior, Paladin, Rogue, Hunter, Druid, or not hunter, druid, shaman, warlock, like all of them. And then I even tried their different specs out too. It was pretty legit. I got all their artifact weapons and stuff leveled up. I think the warrior and the paladin, I had the artifacts weapon all the way up to where you get the increased damage per each next artifact trait or whatever. But yeah, it turned into just running mythics, timed mythics specifically. The heroic ones. And it was hard to keep a group that could run that consistently at the same time that I was online, so I kind of started losing interest. I think we've already gone too far from what Cuz was saying earlier. Let's see what he was talking about. My interwebs is crap at the moment too. Oh, okay. Don't die, don't die. As long as we keep our water shield up, we're fine. Ooh, crit crit, that was nice. These little goblins, man. Why won't you die, goblin? Asuna Uchicha says, I'm level 110. What class do you play, Uchicha? Or what would you say is your favorite class if you're like me and have the alcoholism or alcoholism? My problem is I'll run in a group and then I'll be like, man, this tank is garbage. I can tank better than that. And then I'll start tanking. And then I'll be running in a group as a tank and I'll be like, man, this healer sucks. I can heal better than that. And then I'll roll healer. And then like I'll be like, man, the DPS aren't doing their job. And they keep standing in poo. I can DPS better than that. And then I switch to my DPS. I always thought, man, I wish I could heal, DPS, and tank all at the same time. And then I found Project Ascension. Come to me, my pretties. Come get ran. Oh, there are people that disarm here. It's all good. Let's get that totem down. Yeah, start burning them up. Yeah, I'm glad. Who was it? The Dane. I'm glad that the Dane convinced me to go back tank. This past Friday, I think it was Friday into Saturday, they had free respecs. So I was trying a couple different things out. I started messing with DPS specs and two-handers and stuff like that. And they were fun. Like I got a really crazy strength spec that I was doing, and it hit pretty hard. But I wouldn't take on 20 mobs at a time with that spec. So it's just more efficient for me to level this way if I'm not questing. I was running around trying to grind mobs like I was whenever I was a tank spec like I am now. And I had a variation of this build, but I went more into strength stacking and attack power to boost my thunderclap damage. And it was not as viable as it is now. I think I probably could. I probably could go back to a strength build and have like a lot of attack power and thunderclap cleave stuff down. And I was even strength stacking with my stat allocation here. Speaking of which, I need to spend those points. But the armor tank, having so much stamina and having so much armor and stuff like that, it's pretty fun. Oh, work complete. I guess I did a quest just now. I can't carry any more captain's keys apparently. Declan said, I'm thinking only choices hybrid caster with pet or melee. Ah, I see. I feel like most caster specs will end up playing like an enhanced shaman if I were to build one.
I can't carry any more of those.
But you're right, if you had a pet, you could at least stand back and cast, but it would be hard for pet to tank against any real damage you could output. Maybe a lock build could do better than hunter pet because at least lock pets share certain things with spell damage stuff. Declan said, I was thinking shaman nature might have some synergy with the balanced druid. Yeah, it'd be like the what is it, the storm chicken or whatever they were saying. Rockin' One Sock was talking about. Or Holy Paladin, Declan was saying. Holy Shakadin build might be fun too, you're right. And then I was telling him maybe a lock pet would be better than a hunter pet because locks at least have spell damage things. Car Spray Jackwheel says, Hi! Hi San, how are you? Are you having a good day, sir? Is it a good day? Alright, something is in combat with me, so I'm gonna shadow meld out. Man, without vanish or stealth or shadow meld, I feel like it would be very painful to level sometimes because of that combat bug, especially in dungeons and stuff where you aggro these creatures like critters and stuff. See how many we can get here. Pull them in here. Drop the totes. And cleave, shout. Drop that. Must be in defensive stance. Wow, I was not in defensive stance that whole time. What a waste. Just wasted HP. Wasted Car Spry Jackal says, yes, he is having a good day. What's up, sir? He said, what? A chocolate chip cookie. You did eat your breakfast. Yeah, go ahead. Don't die, don't die. Shit's respawning on me. Oh no. Oh, cool, sir. Let's re-shout, re-defensive stance, re-heal, keep that water shield up. Come on. Shit's getting real. Ah! Don't die. Declan has got a new rank of cooking. Congratulations, Declan. He's a journeyman now. Wow, he's already a journeyman? What level is he? Oh, he's level 12. I thought he just started that character. Yeah, man. I'm digging this build. I like whenever I'm fighting oranges because it's a little bit tough. It's like a little bit more tough than those camps with the yellows. This captain's key stuff's gonna get annoying though.
Do that. That ability isn't ready. I can't carry any more of those. 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 I can't carry any more of those.
We got the Mugga hurt just now. That might be worth checking out. A one-handed mace, 37 to 69 damage. Chance on hit to slow the target's movement by 50% for 10 seconds. Compared to my axe, I have 43 to 81 damage on my axe. But this is a faster swinging mace. So I could potentially get a lot more cleaves off if I have a lot of rage to dump. It's a higher item level by 6 levels, but I lose strength and stamina by putting this on. I kind of want to put it on, even though it's gonna hit softer. It'll do more DPS, and then that 2% chance on hit from judging has a lot more opportunity to proc. And then it'll slow movement speed too, so whenever I get into the PvPs, yeah, I think I've sold myself on it. And plus it's a beer mug! Do it. Done it. Done. Got the Mugga hurt. Don't mind if I do. But yeah, the faster speed, the faster swing speed will help us survivability wise too, because like I said, you get a chance on hit for 2% of the maximum health to get returned to you. And if your chance is more often, then there's more of a chance that you're going to get healed. So we're going to roll with that. Are we going to group these guys up? Oh, we're dizzy. Don't dizzy me. Oh, he's actually head cracked me. Alright, let's get our totem down. Buff and roar. Oh yeah, that cleaves up often now. Look at how quick that can cleave back to back. Heal thyself. I had to burn a health potion there. Heal thyself again. Don't die, don't die. This is so rough. Why did I put so many? Beginning to regret my decisions. Let's reduce attack power of some folks. Heal myself. Starting to panic. I need to stop panicking. We're good, we're good. Just chill, we're fine. We'll continue to shout and heal. These things will die if I drop a totem. I can't afford a totem right now because I'm low on mana. Okay, I think we're out of the woods. Not enough mana. Wow, this pirate's taking a while. Red Mike says, good now that football is over this morning. I have to go back. I have to go back later though. Oh, how's it going? Hey. Oh, he was playing? Not enough rage. These last couple are taking a while to go down. So, I do a lot better when I'm getting hit on by multiple mobs. When it's just a few, it's like I have a lot less that I can do about things. I mean, it's still like I'm still on top, and there's still a good chance that I'll survive, but combat slows down a lot. So I was thinking Holy Shield too. Can you help me with more Ladim? Commander I can help him with that. Is he talking about cuz? Sure, man. Alright, how can I do this? Probably chill right here. Be right there. Red Mike needs help with more Ladim. I'm gonna log over to Elusive Valor and help him out. Ooh, please don't aggro before you log out. Do it, log out. Got it just in time. Actually, it might be better to use Spitfire. Oh, she's reset though. Ah, no, no, no. Can't use her. Forgot I reset her talents. I'll do it on Elude. I don't have time to spec her, so I'll just Hearth. Jackal says, is the leveling time like back in vanilla? It's more like vanilla in Wrath of the Lich King. He disarmed me. If you go on the Sargeras server too, with the Project Ascension's private servers, the Sargeras server is 3 times the XP, so it ends up feeling more like, oh look, I completed those too. Can you turn that down, sir? What was I saying? Oh, on Sargeras, the 3 times XP feels like you're wearing bind on account gear while you're leveling, because you level as fast as you would with bind on account gear. And then the only difference is you don't have as much damage output as you would if you were wearing bind on account gear. So it's the same speed XP wise, but you don't hit as hard and you get hit a lot harder, so that's what slows you down until you can get geared. Kind of an issue with Sargeras too is once you hit past level 20, you end up having to worry about other players, even your friendly faction mates. They can kill you. They aren't changing though, like increasing XP on this server as well as I thought I saw someone on the forums, but you can have 1x if you want. Right, on Sargeras you can make it a 1x EXP gain to where it's like this, to where you level like you would on Andorhal. I don't know why you'd want to level slower though. maybe you can get more gear or twink or something if you didn't get past 20. I don't know. Oh wait, Red Mike's saying something else. Red Mark's saying, oh, the download jackal is 16 gigs. That's how big the game is. If you get like a torrent downloader, it takes, well, 16 gigs. It's going to depend on your internet speed. Red Mike said twinking would be fun. Oh yeah, I bet you it would be. And that's kind of too, like, that's probably what the purpose of it is. That's probably why they have it to where you can get a 1x EXP on the Sargeras server, is because if you had somebody higher level helping you out by running you through dungeons, then you could be completely in the best gear for each level you hit with help from friends. And then when you're out in the world doing shit, like, you could actually, right, like, get dodged to 105% and never get hit by other players, and just run around the zone killing everybody and looting all of their gear and selling it on the auction house. Because items that are soulbound, even quest rewards, other players can pick up and sell on the auction house on that server. So you can be farmed. I'm gonna toss an invite to Red Mike. Find out where he's at. Oh, he's right here. By the light of the moon. Red Mike said he saw videos of a level 1 killing a level 25. Oh my god. That's crazy. Yeah, I imagine too, if you have like a higher level toon, you can send yourself gear to be like fully equipped for each next level. That's crazy, level 1 twinks. But you really need friends, like, you really need friends on those servers, and you need to help each other out as you're leveling, so you can actually benefit from the 3 times EXP instead of getting murdered all the time. You can get your buddies to help you out, like, you can get buddies to come out and where you are in the world, and I bet you guilds are a lot more close-knit on that server than they are on this one. Getting the gear is the hardest part, yeah. Especially since, like, you can only kill or be killed by people within 5 levels of you in order to get the chest. So if you kill somebody 5 levels, within 5 levels higher or lower than yourself, then you can loot their gear. But if you're like a 6 level higher or plus, like if you're like a 30 farming level 20s, then you won't benefit from honor or their gear, so it's kind of pointless. Some people were trying to work a way to where they can get somebody higher level in their group, and they were trying to tag the person first and then have a higher level person kill the enemy for them so they could loot the gear, but they've figured out a way to work around that, so higher levels can't help out lower levels. Red Mike said, also you don't have to be level 30 or 20, I mean. You don't have to be a level 20 to kill people? Oh, Horde and Alliance, right? As a Horde person, you could still kill the other faction, but your friendly faction mates can't kill you until after level 20, I thought. It might not be that way anymore, though. Are all the servers FFA free-for-all? No, just that server, Sargeras. This is the Andorhal server. This is a PvP enabled, but it's only for opposing factions, so like Horde versus Alliance. And PvP does happen on this server, but I got a feeling that a lot more PvE focused people play on this one, because the PvP guys would get into a lot more action on the Sargeras server. We'll say it that way. Like, if you're a fan of PvP, then you're more likely to play on the Sargeras server because there's more chances for that to happen and more people focused in that way on that server. Oh, it looks like someone else is out here. Oh, you know what? My maces.
By the light of the moon. Excellent.
Awesome. I think we're good on that now. Well, I can't even leave, so maybe he needs a book. You need the book while you're here?
Hail to the light.
Awesome, he could train something. This is actually a flying book, but it doesn't look like that on this texture that I'm using. Jackal said, I was more turned away from free-for-all, that's why I asked before I started the download. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that as much on the Andorhal server, so you can choose kind of what to get into. And they're aware a lot of the community too doesn't always like PvP focused and all that stuff. So there is a core here, and at least myself is part of it, that would rather focus on PvE. I really wish they would improve the dungeoning system. Like, you can queue for a dungeon group as well, and you could get the party and everything formed, but you have to actually run to the dungeon, and then after that you summon the rest of your party with the summoning stone. But and that's okay. Like, I don't have any problem with that part, but it's weird because you're required to have a tank and you're required to have a healer and 3 DPS in order to form a group. But this being a classless server, it's really hard to fill those roles to start a group. Like, you should be able to just get a group of 5 DPS, and like somehow you should have it to where, like, I don't even know, like, I don't know how the system could work, but if there was a way to somehow get a group of 5 people and just have an understanding from the people joining the party that one of you has to get a taunt and one of you has to get a heal, like, I feel like that would be good. Like, I feel like, but I think also just 5 DPS should be able to run a dungeon. Like, you should be that good on as a hero on this server that you can run a dungeon without a healer or without a tank. So just like back in the day, yeah, you're right. It's a lot like just back in the day. Like vanilla WoW, you didn't have that kind of restriction for running dungeons because you would just spam looking for group and you'd be like LFG and you could form a group however you felt like it, but it's a lot harder to get people to join a group if there's not a tank. It's a lot harder to get people to join a group if there's not a healer. So even back in the day, you still were you still had to meet the tank healer DPS requirements to join dungeons. At least like socially, like with the people that you were playing with, they had to have those boxes checked before they joined a group. So somehow we could have an understanding, or if we could actually have a system developed to where it could figure out how to get the right composition to fill these roles, then I feel like the dungeon finder would make a lot more sense or be better. But other than that, I mean, like, all you can really do is join this dungeon finder and sometimes wait an hour and a half for that third DPS slot to fill. And it's weird because this is actually the case. Like, you actually end up in the finder waiting for 1 DPS. But sometimes it's the healer and sometimes it's the tank you're waiting on. It just depends on your level range, it seems, and what people are speccing as in those levels. Because if they're like me, then every 10 levels they're respecking and picking up different moves anyways. Red Mike said they should make a test realm that you can test talents and stuff at 60. And Red Mike said, haha, more like 2 hours. Yeah, sometimes it's even 4 hours. And then he said, no one's going to level as a healer. You're right. And you do have hybrid builds starting to pop up, like the agility healer and attack power or strength healers. But those only happen at higher levels. So if there was some way to maybe even make those talents that convert attack power to heals, or agility to heals, or strength to I say heals, but I mean like healing power or spell power. If you had those talents accessible at earlier levels, maybe it could be viable. But even then still, they're not as useful at early levels because it's just better to gear intellect if you're going to be a healer at low levels. Red Mike says, all my points are in agility. Yeah, that's good too, but you're not going to get as much out of the conversion with those talents at lower levels, because while you do have all your points in agility, there's a good chance you don't have near 300 agility or near 150. Well, you might have 150 agility, but the conversion is more powerful at later levels. Red Mike says, I can hit from 100 to 200. Hell yeah, man. But you can't get those conversion talents until like level 40 or 50. Like, more specifically what I'm talking about is Touched by the Light with the Paladin. You don't get until level 50, and that converts percentage of your strength into spell power. And then I think for the agility healers, they're picking up something around here. I forget what it is. Nurturing Instinct. So that's happened at, okay, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. At level 25, you can get Nurturing Instinct, which increases your healing spells by up to 10% of your agility, and that probably goes up to 20 with 2 points. And increases healing done to you by 10%, that probably goes up to 20 with 2 points. That might stay to 10% though. But with this, you can convert your agility into spell power or healing power, and then get more healing power of that. Red Mike says, I have 328 ranged attack power without Hunter's Mark. Wow. And then attack power as well, like in the Shaman tree. Attack power can be converted to heals at level 50. So this is like that Paladin one. At level 50, this says reduce the mana cost of your instant cast shaman spells and increases bonus spell damage. Actually, this is specifically spell damage. This doesn't have anything to do with healing. So that won't help your healing. But you can get spell damage with mental quickness. Maybe Elemental has something like that. But still, like, these builds are a lot less viable for a healer, like, at early levels. So it can be harder to find healers. You know what I just realized? I hearthed and then I came over here, but I don't have any smart way of getting back. I guess Booty Bay, right?
Have a good one.
I think it's going to be hard for me to get back to where I'm at over here in the world. I thought there was a boat that went to Steamweedle Port, but I think I was mistaken. Caverns of Time. There's a shortcut there. No, that was in Dalaran. I'm thinking in Dalaran. Can't get to Dalaran yet. I don't even know if I got connecting flight paths. Right, okay, I know what to do.
What can I do for you?
I remember. I remember how to get there. We gotta fly to Stormwind. And Jackal was saying, just have all 5 use Warlock Siphon Lyfe. Booty Bay goes to Ratchet. True that, true that. I think also it's, when I went last time I did take Booty Bay to Ratchet. You're right. But whenever I ran down to Tanaris, I got all the flight paths that I passed. And I even went into Dustwallow Marsh for, I think it's Sprocket or something. There's like some kind of a goblin-y town in Dustwallow Marsh that I went to. And I realized that whenever I hit the flight path in Tanaris, I didn't get the connecting flights all the way up to Booty, or Ratchet, I mean. So I'm missing the one from Menethil Harbor. And I could get to Menethil Harbor from Stormwind to Ironforge to Wetlands, and then the boat over from Wetlands to Menethil Harbor. And then I'll have that connecting flight path, so next time I could just fly to Ratchet and then fly down to Tanaris. Or boat to Ratchet from Eastern Kingdoms and then fly to Tanaris. That map boss, the world boss. But it's all good. I needed to come to town too for something. I forget what. Oh, to sell, but I was mailing all my stuff to the alts. Man, what is with these captain's keys? I'm so sick of them. It vendors for 15 silver, so maybe I'll vendor the one I have in my bags now. And then let's see if I can manage it. Bar. Bag bar. We'll show the key ring. And talk to this person. Browse their goods. And sell the captain's key. There we go. And now we could sell this captain's key if we wanted. I wonder what it's for though. It's unique. Whoops.
See you around.
Pirate's footlocker. There's supposed to be some kind of a chest or something. Lower, middle, and upper. Middle, middle, middle. I guess the middle part of the map is common. Oh wait.
See you later.
Join map fragments. Oh, that was easy. Where goes gold?
Step on up.
Okie dokie. I don't know anything about pirate stuff. I'm just gonna sell greens. Jackal said, yeah, both paths will take time unless you get lucky or unlucky with the boat times. Yeah, true. I'm not worried about it though. I got time. Well, actually, I don't have time. Usually I shut the stream down at 11. And it's normally because that's when my son wakes up. But he's been up today. Today I'm shutting it down so I can eat. So I'm probably just going to go ahead and wrap up this episode right here, guys. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. And it was good to see you in chat here, Jackal. I think I've probably seen you once before. I don't know if you've actually been around before, but it was good. It was good chatting with you. I hope you do get it installed and downloaded and stuff. If you create a character on the Alliance side, give either me or anyone else from the Stalwart Vanguard a whisper and we can invite you if you want a guild. Alright, Red Mike. Appreciate it, man. I'll see you later. You too, Jackal. Y'all take it easy. this will conclude episode 22 of Elude Stalwart playing the Project Ascension Andorhal PvP server. Peace.